Monday, May 10th. So the moon is in Taurus all day. We are very much in the new moon window, again, taking place tomorrow on the 11th. We have a lot of moon energy here today. The moon is sextiling with Mars, sitting right next to Uranus, and then squaring Saturn. So let's talk about this for a second. The big stars here are the moon. We have a little bit of mercurial energy, which I'll talk about here in a second, but I really want to break down what the moon is doing to us today. We have 8 different aspects, but the ones that I mentioned are definitely the most dominant. So we have the moon, we have the sun still in Taurus, the moon in Taurus, sextiling, which is a positive aspect, with Mars, who is in Cancer, very frustrated. Why? Because he has to slow down. He has to go with the flow. He has to only really make moves when he is emotionally triggered to do so. He's put in a position where he has to protect and preserve, his beliefs, his emotions, especially where the family unit is concerned, the choices that he's making. He's put in a position where he has to fight and defend not only his choices, not only his family unit, not only the foundation which he's created, but he has to defend himself to some of the people in the family, right? There's a lot of family drama that's coming to head because this Cancer and energy does really tap into the feminine divine, especially the roles that the feminine divine play in the soul contracts within the family dynamic, within the family unit. There is a lot of emotion coming up. Why? Because Cancer energy is ruled over by the moon, very intuitive, water sign, right? Our subconscious thoughts, feelings, emotions coming into light, being illuminated in our conscious awareness. And Mars is really just not happy here. He can't do what he wants. He really just wants to kind of bulldoze through this particular time and get it over with. And of course, that water energy is kind of choppy, kind of slowing him down a little bit. He's all up in his feels, which he absolutely hates. And of course, the moon in Taurus, about feelings, about intuition, about the subconscious self, wants to root him in his physical experience right now. Mars doesn't want to be in his physical experience right now. So there's likely going to be some triggers happening here. Emotional triggers, triggers within the home, within the relationships, within the family dynamic. Our boundaries are being tested. Why? Because we need to take a change, and most of us do not take a change until we are absolutely 100% frustrated and exhausted with suffering, with the same old bullshit, with the same old narrative and the same old cycle and the same old patterns and routines. Many of us need to bang our heads off of a wall and be just so sick and tired of things in order to make a change. We're in this new moon window where the things that need to change are going to be screaming so loud at us. Why? Because this is the time where we need to consciously be aware of what it is that we need to move away from, what it is we need to move closer to, so that we are in alignment with that vision, with that thought, when the new moon energy hits. So the moon sextiling Mars, definitely triggering us to take action. We want to take action. Mars is all about action, physical action, just moving through obstacles and challenges to take action. Now, could that get us in trouble? For sure, because it's not really an ideal time to take action, especially when we're riding off emotional impulses, especially when we're being triggered and we're angry and we're frustrated. That is no way to kind of make changes and take action. But we are definitely going to be triggered to feel that way, like we should be doing something, like we do need to move through, the craziness and the chaos that is our lives as of right now. This is going to bring us a restless energy. We're going to have ants in our pants. It's definitely recommended that you exert yourself into physical exercise or physical projects to make sure that you are channeling that energy in a healthy way. We might not feel 100% complete in getting that restless energy out because, the moon is conjunct Uranus. sitting right next to Uranus, right? Uranus is in Taurus, has been in Taurus for a while. Uranian energy is electric. It's like lightning bolts. It affects our central nervous system. This restlessness that is being triggered and frustration and anger being triggered by Mars in Cancer emotionally, definitely having a huge effect on our mental plane, on our anxiety, on shifting our focus from one thing to the next. And, disclaimer here, Uranian energy is a wild card energy. It's like the cosmos is, throwing us curveballs. And we can see some disruption, not only to our mental plane, not only to our heart space, but to our physical lives. So your routine might be disrupted, or, something wild could happen right out of the blue that suddenly just shakes you up and wakes you up to a brand new perspective. And this is only going to add to the want, need, and desire to take charge, to act on our impulses, to make some serious changes. And although, this is what the name of the game is all about, I really encourage you, if you can, to act as the observer, to recognize that those impulses are pushing you and pulling you to the right direction of, the true node, your destiny point, where it is, the path that you need to be on. But again, the new moon energy does not support taking action on the new beginnings. We have to wait until the crescent moon is visible in the sky before we go ahead and do all the physical actions, all the physical decisions, all the physical changes that we are being triggered to want to make. And then, the moon is squaring Saturn. Now, the square is a tension point. The square is a crisis. And Saturn is the Lord of Karma. He wants you to see where it is that you need to follow the rules, honor your commitments, where it is that you're still feeling like you're held back, where it is that you have responsibilities in life. And, this is going to feel like a heavy weight, likely playing into some of the triggers that are going to set us off. And when we feel the weight of the world on our shoulders, when we don't want to feel that anymore, when we feel like we're suffocating under the rules and the roles and the responsibilities of our earthly realms, we just want to escape. And again, adding to the overwhelming energy to want to make a change. And so it's going to be very hard not to act out through our ego, through our physical avatar. But it's really recommended that we get a grip, that we act as the observer, that we put a pause on that energy, and that we wait for more opportune time to actually make those physical changes. Now, Mercury is another key player here. And Mercury, again, in his place of power, just shifted into Gemini last week. Again, if you haven't listened to May's energy forecast, I definitely recommend you do so. It's super easy to also subscribe to my YouTube channel. It drops each cosmic event individually so that, you can kind of take one cosmic event at a time. But Mercury in Gemini is not messing around. That's why our mental planes are wide open, new information, new details coming in. We are shifting through thoughts, shifting through perspectives. We want to be chatty Cathys. We want to collaborate with other people. We want to open up conversations. We want to debate. We want to dive in to all the information available to us. And Mercury is sextiling Chiron. Now, sextile, good energy. We're blending energies here. Chiron in Aries, exposing our ego, identity, wounds, right? And Mercury and Chiron are having this conversation here today, recognizing our thinking process, our narratives, thinking about our perspectives. And of course, we would have had all these emotional triggers throughout the day, opening us up to kind of analyzing what's going on here, what is going on in our psyche, what is going on in the cosmos, and opening up a conversation with Chiron about where it is that we're healing, what it is we need to heal. And a lot of those questions are being illuminated by our boundaries being tested, by the emotional triggers that are being activated for us throughout the day. So we are definitely rapid firing through information, having aha moments, really tapping into our higher intelligence, our beautiful brilliance, and seeing where it is that the storylines, that the energy, that the soul contracts are shifting. Again, May is a huge, very huge pivotal month for change. And we are definitely in alignment now, trying to get our hearts agreeing with our head before we can make the physical changes that we need to make in our environments.